Right, well, Tehran is hosting top Pakistani officials to help mediate a deal to end the war with the United States. Among them, Pakistan's army chief, that's Asim Munir, who met with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Munir has emerged as a key figure in diplomatic contact between Iran and the US. Iranian media reports that both sides discussed efforts to prevent escalation. And earlier, an official source told Al Jazeera that a Qatari delegation was also in Tehran to support those mediation efforts. Well, on Friday, an Iranian official source told Al Jazeera that a ceasefire on all fronts is the essential prerequisite for any future negotiations. Al Jazeera has also been told that no final agreement has been reached yet, and efforts are underway to bridge the gap between both sides. And for Iran, releasing frozen assets and lifting sanctions are not just mere details. The source adds that ending the war, lifting the US blockade, and ensuring the stability of the Strait of Hormuz are priorities. And also saying that Qatar's supportive role for the Pakistani mediator is vital, important, as well as fundamental. Let's go now live to our correspondent, Resul Serdar, joining us from Iran's capital, Tehran. Resul, so it seems that these diplomatic talks are intensively underway there in Iran and elsewhere. So what is the Iranian reaction so far, or have we heard any updates this morning from them?
Well, Asim Munir, the strongman of Pakistan, is here in Tehran. This is his second visit since the war began. And last time when he was here, so his presence led to the direct negotiations between Americans and Iranians in Islamabad. So according to reports and according to sources that we are talking to, they said there has been progress, and that's why Asim Munir has come to Tehran to force both sides and also convince both sides to meet once again. And this visit is quite remarkable because Asim Munir now is the key mediators in all of this diplomatic engagement and force. So indeed we are now in pivotal days, and every moment, every day, every hour here is extremely critical. So, and while the Pakistani delegation is here, headed by Asim Munir. So last night we have seen a meeting between Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi and Asim Munir, and it lasted quite for a long period of time. So today he's expected to meet some other top officials in Iran. And then Qatari delegation also is in Tehran supporting these efforts and coordinating these efforts, talking to the regional countries. Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, had already a phone talks with Qatar foreign minister, with the Iraqi foreign minister, with Turkish foreign minister, and the Secretary General of the United Nations. And while that is happening, then the Qatari foreign minister also has been talking to his regional counterparts. And then the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, is now heading to China. So we've seen Beijing, Washington, Tehran, Doha, Riyadh, Cairo, they're all involved. It's a multi-front diplomatic effort that is ongoing. And the main motive here is to prevent another round of the war and to reach at least an interim agreement, a framework. If not possible, at least to extend the ceasefire that the warring parties can continue negotiating. So while all that is happening, there is enough amount of optimism or the reasons to be optimistic. However, the parties are extremely cautious as well. It's an extremely delicate process. So Ismail Bakai, the spokesperson of the foreign ministry, and now he's appointed as the spokesperson of the negotiating team, Iranian negotiating team, has said that Asim Munir's visit does not mean that a deal is close. So it's a good sign. However, there are still major sticking points, major disagreements between the parties over the status quo of the status of the Strait of Hormuz, over Iran's enriched uranium, over the compensation, over the Iranian frozen assets, and of course methodology of these talks. Iranians are insisting that at the first phase there must be an end to the war at all fronts. And then, if that is achieved, removal of the sanctions, the guarantees that the war is not going to be renewed, And then in the second phase, they say, well, they will be keen to discuss their nuclear program, while Americans are insisting on one phase and a package deal. So these are the major sticking points here. However, as I said, the regional countries, the global actors are deeply involved in this, because it is quite clear if another round of the war comes, the consequences could not be only devastating for the region, but the effects could go beyond the region.
Yeah, so a multi-pronged effort there. Thanks, Resul Serdar, for talking us through the latest from where you are. That's in Iran's capital, Tehran.